I know you're not gonna let her die.
Arthur Bishop, a retired hitman, is forced back into the game when his past catches up. To protect a woman he cares for, he must complete 3 seemingly impossible assassinations, making them look like accidents for a ruthless arms dealer. Each mission is a high-stakes, elaborate setup, testing his unique skills and precision in a deadly global game, ultimately leading him to confront his manipulative nemesis.
I'll be something on the console.
Move the shell! Just get in.
B! Bishop!
Gotcha! You're a dead man, Bishop. Never swim far enough away before she blows.
Rather quickly. Get the fuck away!
Bitch! You.
Please! Don't let go of me, Frank!
Let the man pray. Fortune in human trafficking. Him, of course. But that's the least of. It's a fortress in the sky.
Can't see you.
below and give him a proper... Power system. Oxygen supply. Arthur. I know you're not gonna let her die.
I'll be something on the console.
Move this shit on.
Just get in.
See! Bishop!
Gotcha.
You're a dead man, Bishop. Never swim far enough away before she blows.
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst into the high-octane world of Arthur Bishop in Mechanic, Resurrection. This flick is pure adrenaline, packing a punch with its incredible stunts and Bishop's signature meticulous planning. We're going to break down every explosive moment, every impossible assassination, and every strategic move that makes this movie a thrill ride from start to finish. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. Our story kicks off in the bustling, sun-drenched chaos of Rio de Janeiro, where Arthur Bishop, the world's most precise and untraceable hitman, is enjoying a semblance of retirement. He's dining in a charming outdoor cafe, the clatter of cutlery and murmur of conversation forming a soothing backdrop to his solitary meal. The air smells of strong coffee and sea salt, a perfect picture of peace. That peace, however, is shattered with the sudden, jarring arrival of an envoy sent by a ghost from his past. Raya Crane, the contact, a muscular man with an uninviting stare, delivers Crane's message. Bishop is needed for 3 specific jobs. The tension is immediate, a heavy silence falling over their small table despite the surrounding din. Bishop, ever the master of understatement, politely declines, the corners of his mouth barely twitching. He's done with that life. But Crane isn't one to take no for an answer, and a refusal means a violent reprisal. The cafe erupts in a storm of motion. Armed men, moving with terrifying efficiency, converge on Bishop. Glass shatters as a chair is thrown, followed by the sickening thud of a fist connecting with bone. Bishop, still seated, reacts with preternatural speed, his movements fluid and deadly. A knife flashes and elbow cracks against a jaw, and the attackers find themselves on the receiving end of a very unpleasant surprise. The air fills with the sharp reports of silenced pistols and the frantic shouts of startled patrons. Bishop, a whirlwind of calculated violence, disarms one assailant, then uses his own weapon against another with a silent, deadly precision. The fight spills out onto the street, the sun glinting off the metal of the attacker's firearms. Bishop leaps onto a passing motorcycle, a roar of the engine cutting through the urban soundscape, leaving a trail of disoriented thugs in his wake. His escape isn't just a quick getaway. It's a meticulously planned disappearance. He rides to a vantage point high above the city, the sprawling metropolis stretching out beneath him like a vibrant tapestry. The wind whips at his hair, and the distant sounds of the city seem to shrink. Then, with a casual disregard for gravity, he throws himself off the cliff, plummeting towards the sparkling turquoise waters below. It's a breathtaking dive, a desperate gambit. A parachute unfurls with a sharp snap, slowing his descent just enough to allow him to hit the water hard but safely, the impact sending spray high into the air. He sheds the chute, the silk collapsing around him, and swims to a waiting mini-submarine that emerges from the depths with a subtle hum. It's an exit that redefines making an entrance, or rather, making an exit, showcasing Bishop's ingenuity and the resources he still commands, even in supposed retirement. Well, that's one way to avoid a difficult conversation, he probably thought. If he thought anything at all besides escape, he resurfaces days later, far from Rio, taking refuge in a remote, idyllic island off the coast of Thailand. It's a sanctuary, a place where the rhythmic lapping of waves against the shore and the rustle of palm fronds are the only sounds. He lives simply, maintaining a quiet existence, a ghost in paradise. But Crane isn't easily fooled. Bishop receives a new message, delivered through his close associate and friend, May. Crane knows where Bishop is, and he has a new tactic, emotional leverage. Crane sends a woman named Gina Thorne to Bishop's island. Knowing Bishop's code dictates, he helps those in need. Gina is a strikingly beautiful and compassionate woman, ostensibly on the run from an abusive relationship, seeking refuge in the very place Bishop found his own. Her cover story is convincing, designed to appeal to Bishop's hidden sense of justice. She tells a harrowing tale, her voice soft but laced with fear, of a dangerous man and a desperate escape. Bishop, ever vigilant, senses something is off. He's a man who trusts no one, not entirely. He observes her, studies her movements, her subtle tells. He follows her as she attempts to contact Crane, confirming his suspicions that she's a plant. The reveal of her true mission is less a shock and more a quiet confirmation of his cynical worldview. Gina is working for Crane, tasked with luring Bishop out of hiding. But even as he confronts her, the dynamic shifts. Gina isn't simply a pawn. She's being blackmailed. Crane holds the lives of children in Cambodia, whom Gina works tirelessly to protect, over her head. He threatens to harm them if she doesn't cooperate. The weight of this revelation hangs heavy in the humid air, turning Gina from a potential threat into a vulnerable ally, albeit one forced into a terrible situation. Bishop, despite his initial wariness, sees her genuine compassion and the impossible bind she's in. This vulnerability, her selflessness, appeals to the part of him that Crane is trying to exploit. He sees a reflection of his own desire to protect, to right wrongs, even if he expresses it through violence. The classic damsel in distress who's actually a secret agent being blackmailed into being a damsel in distress trope. Never gets old. He might muse with a wry smirk. Their uneasy alliance takes a turn towards genuine connection as they spend time together, a bond forged under the oppressive shadow of Crane's threats. Bishop, a man of few words, finds himself opening up, sharing glimpses of his guarded world, while Gina reveals the depth of her humanitarian work. They talk about life, about choices, about the cost of living a moral existence in a morally bankrupt world. Their developing relationship, subtle yet profound, is the first real crack in Bishop's impenetrable exterior. But Crane's patience, like his mercy, is thin. He sends his thugs to abduct Gina. The attack is swift and brutal, a sudden invasion of Bishop's peaceful sanctuary. The air fills with the guttural shouts of men and the splintering sound of wood as they smash through the island dwelling. Bishop, awakened by the commotion, explodes into action. The small hut becomes a brutal arena, the thud of fists against flesh, the sharp crack of bones, and the desperate grunts of men filling the confined space. He fights with a lethal grace, each movement a calculated strike, designed to incapacitate. But there are too many, and they're focused on Gina. He tries to shield her, but she's dragged away, screaming onto a waiting boat, the engine roaring to life with a deafening throb that reverberates across the water. The sight of her struggling, her terrified cries echoing across the moonlit waves, ignites a dormant fury in Bishop. He pursues the boat relentlessly, swimming with powerful, desperate strokes. The sound of the engine slowly fading into the night is a cruel reminder of his failure. He eventually catches up, clambering aboard, a silent, deadly shadow. A fierce close-quarters combat ensues on the rocking deck, the metal groaning under their feet, the spray of the ocean mixing with the sweat and blood. He dispatches several of Crane's men, their bodies hitting the deck with sickening thuds, or plunging silently into the dark water. But despite his superhuman efforts, Gina is taken. He is too late, beaten not by force, but by overwhelming numbers and Crane's ruthless cunning. Crane then contacts Bishop directly, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. The message is clear: complete the 3 assassinations, make them look like accidents, or Gina dies. The stakes are now intensely personal. Bishop, a man who swore off killing, is forced back into the game, his heart now burdened by the weight of Gina's capture. His retirement is officially over. Well, that escalated quickly, didn't it? From tranquil paradise to life or death hostage situation in roughly 30 minutes flat. The first target on Crane's hit list is Krill, a ruthless arms dealer incarcerated in a high-security prison in Malaysia. This isn't just any prison. It's a fortress designed to be impenetrable, perched precariously over the ocean, with its most dangerous inmates held in cells suspended above a massive shark tank. The very thought of it sends shivers down the spine. The challenge is monumental. Kill Krill inside this maximum security facility and make it appear if he died in a freak accident. Bishop begins his meticulous planning, every detail scrutinized, every variable accounted for. He observes the prison from afar, studying guard rotations, camera blind spots, and structural weaknesses. He learns about Krill's habits, his fears, his daily routines. He procures specialized equipment, a series of custom-made devices that would make even James Bond's Q jealous. His plan relies on precision engineering and perfect timing. His infiltration is a masterclass in stealth. Under the cloak of night, Bishop approaches the prison, the rhythmic crash of waves against the cliffs below providing a natural cover for any minor sounds he might make. He scales the sheer, damp rock face, his fingers finding purchase on invisible crevices, his body moving with the silent grace of a predator. He avoids laser grids, pressure plates, and thermal sensors with unnerving ease. His senses heightened, his focus absolute. He's a ghost in the machine, slipping through vents and crawling through narrow conduits, the metallic tang of old air filling his lungs. The interior of the prison is a labyrinth of steel and concrete, echoing with the distant clangs and shouts of the guards. He makes his way to Krill's cell, a suspended cage overlooking the churning water of the shark tank. The irony isn't lost on Bishop. Krill, a man who fed on others' fear, is now literally surrounded by it. Inside the cell block, he executes his plan with chilling efficiency. He uses a specially designed adhesive charge to subtly weaken the glass floor of Krill's cell. The faint hiss of the chemical reaction is barely audible above the hum of the prison. He then rigs a system to electrically stun Krill, making him fall unconscious. The soft thud of Krill's body hitting the floor is followed by Bishop's swift movements. He connects wires, manipulates control panels, his fingers dancing over intricate mechanisms. He then uses a miniature, custom-built drone, a marvel of tiny engineering, to activate the system that will deliver the final, fatal jolt. The idea is to make it look like Krill, in a desperate attempt to escape or perhaps hallucinating, stumbled onto a live wire and fell through the weakened glass into the shark-infested waters below. Because, spontaneous electrical malfunction and gravity work in mysterious ways. Especially when you're a supervillain in a maximum security prison, he thinks. Probably the escape is just as thrilling as the infiltration. Alarms blare, piercing the silence, As the guards discover Krill's accident, the prison becomes a hive of frantic activity. Bishop is forced into a series of brutal hand-to-hand combat encounters, each punch landing with a visceral crack, each kick delivered with bone-shattering force. He disarms guards with lightning speed, their weapons clattering to the floor. He uses the environment to his advantage, swinging from pipes, creating diversions, and disappearing into the shadows as quickly as he appeared. He evades a barrage of gunfire, the bullets pinging off the metal walls around him. He makes his way back through the treacherous ventilation shafts, eventually reaching the exterior, where he performs another death-defying leap, plunging into the ocean, leaving the chaos behind. The cold water is a shock, but he welcomes it, pushing his body to its limits as he swims away, the distant siren slowly fading into the night. Krill is dead, the first impossible task complete, and Gina's life hangs by an increasingly thin thread. Next on Crane's deadly shopping list is Adrian Cook, a billionaire playboy and human trafficker. Cook lives in an opulent, state-of-the-art penthouse located at the very top of one of Sydney's most iconic skyscrapers. The building itself is a marvel of modern architecture, featuring a breathtaking glass-bottomed infinity pool that juts out from the side of the building, offering dizzying views of the city below. The sheer audacity of the architecture is matched only by Cook's extravagant lifestyle and the layers of security protecting him. The mission: make Cook's death look like an accidental fall from his own luxurious perch. This requires an even greater degree of precision and nerve. Bishop travels to Sydney, immersing himself in the city's rhythm, yet remaining an invisible observer. He spends days studying the building, its structural integrity, its security protocols, and Cook's daily routine. He notes the specific times Cook uses his famous pull, the type of glass used for its bottom, and the intricate system of pumps and filters that maintain it. He discovers that Cook hosts lavish, often drug-fueled, parties, which could provide the perfect cover for his infiltration. He designs specialized tools for this job, including miniature, high-frequency sonic emitters, and adhesive devices capable of compromising reinforced glass without immediate visible damage. Because nothing says accidental death like a custom-built sonic glass weakening device, Bishop might quip to himself. If he were given to such frivolity, the night of the planned assassination is a blur of flashing lights, pulsing music, and the murmur of hundreds of revelers. Bishop, disguised as a technician, blends seamlessly into the background, his eyes constantly scanning, his mind running through every step of his plan. The air is thick with the scent of expensive perfume and alcohol. He gains access to the building's maintenance levels, a labyrinth of pipes, wires, and machinery hidden beneath the polished facade. He then meticulously sets up his equipment, attaching the sonic emitters to specific points on the underside of the pool's glass floor. The hum of the emitters is imperceptible amidst the party's cacophony, but their effect is precise and insidious, slowly weakening the molecular structure of the glass. He calculates the exact amount of time needed for the glass to become critically fragile without shattering prematurely. While the emitters work their silent magic, Bishop creates a diversion. He triggers a small, localized power surge, causing a brief flickering of the lights and a momentary disruption in the music. It's enough to draw attention, to create a ripple of confusion among the partygoers. In the ensuing momentary chaos, he targets the pool's filtration system, subtly altering its pressure valves. This increases the internal pressure on the already compromised glass. He then makes his final move, approaching Cook, who is blissfully unaware, enjoying the spectacular view from his transparent pool. Bishop, avoiding direct contact, creates a subtle jostle or a slight disturbance in the water that makes Cook shift his weight. Placing it directly on the most weakened point of the glass, the shattering is sudden and deafening. A cacophony of breaking glass and gushing water. A collective gasp rises from the partygoers, followed by screams of terror. Cook, caught completely off guard, plummets through the now-gone section of the pool, the water cascading round him. He drops hundreds of feet towards the street below. The sound of his body hitting the pavement is a sickening, distant thud, lost in the rising screams and panic. Bishop, meanwhile, makes his escape in the ensuing pandemonium. He navigates the chaos with incredible agility, sliding down a series of emergency cables and rappelling down the exterior of the skyscraper, using a cleverly disguised device that allows for a rapid, controlled descent. He disappears into the dark city streets, leaving behind a scene of utter devastation and a meticulously staged accident. 2 down, 1 to go. Each mission more elaborate, more impossible, pushing Bishop to the absolute limits of his ingenuity and skill. He's a walking, talking, highly lethal MacGyver. If MacGyver also regularly snapped necks, during the planning and execution of these deadly assignments. Bishop and Gina maintain contact, Crane allowing carefully monitored calls to ensure Bishop stays on track. These calls, fraught with tension and underlying affection, reveal more about Gina's background. She's not just a humanitarian. She's fiercely independent, intelligent, and possesses a quiet strength that Bishop respects. She recounts her charity work, the genuine connection she has with the children she helps, and the real reason she got involved with Crane, to protect them. Bishop, through veiled language and subtle hints, reassures her, letting her know he's working on a solution. A way to not only complete the missions, but also to turn the tables on Crane. He begins to share fragmented pieces of his own plans, his intentions to double-cross Crane, his belief that the third target, Max Adams, is integral to his ultimate scheme. There's a quiet understanding that forms between them, a shared purpose beyond survival. It's a delicate dance of trust, especially given their circumstances. She realizes he's not just a killer. He's a man of principles, however brutal his methods. The third target is Max Adams, an international arms dealer and Crane's main rival. Adams is a notoriously paranoid and cautious individual, always surrounded by a formidable security detail and perpetually on the move aboard his heavily fortified superyacht. The yacht itself is a floating fortress, bristling with advanced surveillance systems, armed guards, and countermeasures designed to thwart any land, air, or sea attack. The task: assassinate Adams on his yacht, making it appear to be a catastrophic, unforeseen accident. This is arguably the most challenging of the three, given the constantly shifting environment and the sheer amount of firepower Adams commands. Bishop, now fueled by a potent blend of anger and a desperate need to save Gina, approaches this mission with an even greater intensity. He meticulously researches Adams' yacht, its blueprints, its navigation patterns, and the schedules of its crew and security. He discovers a crucial detail: the yacht has a sophisticated, albeit vulnerable, fuel system and an automated defense grid. His plan involves exploiting these weaknesses. He procures a highly advanced, remote-controlled submersible drone, small enough to evade sonar, but powerful enough to carry custom-designed limpet mines and signal disruptors. He also acquires a unique chemical agent that, when introduced into a specific type of marine fuel, becomes highly volatile. Yes, the classic sudden, spontaneous combustion of a highly fortified superyacht scenario. A favorite among accidental death enthusiasts, Bishop probably thought. Dryly under the cover of darkness, Bishop positions himself in a tactical location near Adams' yacht. Somewhere unseen, perhaps another vessel or a remote island coastline. He launches his submersible drone with practiced ease. The drone glides silently through the water, its sensors mapping the yacht's hull, identifying the target points. It bypasses the yacht's rudimentary sonar defenses, a testament to its advanced design and Bishop's expert piloting. The drone then precisely attaches the limpet mines to key structural points around the fuel tanks, each mine equipped with a short-range detonator. Simultaneously, it releases the chemical agent into the yacht's fuel intake, ensuring it blends seamlessly with the existing fuel. The process is painstaking, requiring absolute focus and steady hands, even from a distance. Once the mines are in place and the chemical agent is dispersed, Bishop makes his final move. He activates the signal disruptors carried by the drone, briefly jamming the yacht's communication and automated defense systems. This creates a small window of opportunity. He then remotely detonates the limpet mines. The first explosion is muffled, an internal rupture, but it ignites the now volatile fuel. A second, much larger explosion erupts from the yacht's engine room, a fiery roar that rips through the night, sending a shockwave across the water. The yacht, a symbol of Adam's power and paranoia, is engulfed in a maelstrom of fire and smoke. Screams pierce the night as crew and security scramble in panic, many succumbing to the inferno or leaping into the shark-infested waters. Bishop watches the destruction unfold, a grim satisfaction settling over him. Adams is presumed dead in the fiery wreck, the third impossible task seemingly accomplished, however. As the fiery wreckage of Adams' yacht illuminates the horizon, a crucial twist is revealed: Max Adams is not dead. Bishop and Adams were, in fact, working together the entire time. The elaborate assassination of Adams was a meticulously choreographed deception, a brilliant piece of misdirection orchestrated by Bishop to expose Crane and gather all his enemies in one place. Adams, a master manipulator himself, had been feigning rivalry with Crane, setting him up for Bishop's final revenge. Their arrangement was simple. Bishop fakes Adams' death. Adams gives Bishop access to Crane's inner circle and resources, and Crane unwittingly seals his own fate. It's a classic chess move, sacrificing a pawn to trap the king. Oh, the plot thickens! Turns out, the dead guy was just on a very expensive vacation with a really good makeup artist. Who knew? With Adams dead and Crane believing he's won, the time for the final confrontation arrives. Crane, now confident and arrogant, takes Gina to his own heavily fortified super yacht, believing he has Bishop exactly where he wants him. He plans to dispose of Gina once Bishop has served his purpose. This is Bishop's moment, the culmination of all his planning, his calculated risks, and his desperate measures. He boards Crane's yacht not as an assassin, but as a liberator and an executioner. The atmosphere is thick with tension as Bishop navigates the labyrinthine corridors of the yacht, a silent predator hunting his prey. The hum of the ship's engines is almost a heartbeat, a rhythm of impending doom. He knows every inch of this vessel, thanks to Adams' intel, and he has prepared for every contingency. The yacht transforms into a deadly playground of Bishop's design. He has rigged the entire vessel with a series of intricate booby traps and timed explosives, creating a domino effect of destruction. The air is soon filled with the sharp reports of automatic weapons as Crane's guards, alerted to Bishop's presence, engage him in a series of intense firefights. Bullets spark off metal, sending shrapnel flying. Bishop moves with brutal efficiency, each movement designed to eliminate a threat. He takes cover behind bulkheads, slides through narrow passages, and uses the ship's architecture to his advantage, creating choke points and ambushes. The metallic clang of weapons, the guttural shouts of men, and the rapid-fire bursts of gunfire echo through the confined spaces. He uses improvised weapons, his environment, and his sheer physical prowess to dispatch Crane's highly trained mercenaries, their bodies thudding to the floor with sickening finality. Meanwhile, Gina, now understanding Bishop's plan and her own role in it, is not idle. She manages to escape her confinement, using her wits and courage. She navigates the burning, exploding yacht, dodging bullets and debris, a newfound determination hardening her gaze. She finds herself in the engine room, a place of immense power and danger. Here, she discovers a crucial piece of Bishop's plan. He needs her to override certain systems to help initiate the final phase of his trap. She works under immense pressure, the roar of the engines and the distant explosions a terrifying soundtrack to her efforts. She manages to activate emergency protocols, disabling security systems, creating openings for Bishop, and locking down critical sections of the yacht, essentially turning Crane's own fortress against him. It's always the quiet ones, isn't it? From humanitarian aid worker to yacht sabotaging hero in a single afternoon. Impressive career pivot. The explosions become more frequent, more powerful, rocking the entire vessel. The smell of burning metal and smoke fills the air. Bishop finally corners Crane in his lavish command center, the opulent room now a scene of chaos, with sparks flying and alarms blaring. Crane, a man consumed by greed and a desperate need for control, makes a final, desperate stand, pulling a weapon. A fierce struggle ensues, a raw, brutal fight between two men driven by opposing forces, Bishop by justice and protection, Crane by power and vengeance. Punches connect with bone-jarring force, grunts of exertion filling the air. Bishop, with his superior training and meticulous planning, eventually gains the upper hand. He disarms Crane with a swift, calculated move, sending the weapon clattering across the floor. Crane, now disarmed and desperate, is left at Bishop's mercy. Bishop, cold and precise, ensures Crane meets an accidental end, a fitting ironic twist for a man who forced Bishop to orchestrate so many. Crane's body is flung into the churning sea below, a silent, final plunge into the abyss. His reign of terror extinguished as the yacht begins its final descent into the ocean. Breaking apart with a series of thunderous ruptures, Bishop and Gina make their dramatic escape. They leap into the water just as the last of the major explosions tears through the ship, sending fiery debris into the sky. The sound is deafening, a visceral roar that speaks of absolute destruction. They swim away from the sinking behemoth, the heat of the flames on their backs, the cold water a stark contrast to the inferno behind them. They eventually meet up with Adams, who emerges from a nearby submarine, having played his part perfectly. The three of them watch as Crane's yacht, a symbol of his power and his downfall, disappears beneath the waves, taking all his secrets and his evil with it. In the aftermath, Bishop and Gina finally find a moment of peace, a quiet calm after the storm of violence and deception. The mission is complete, Crane is gone, and the threat to Gina's children is neutralized. The sun rises over the tranquil sea, casting a golden glow on the water, a stark contrast to the fiery destruction of the previous night. They sit on a remote beach, the gentle lapping of the waves a soothing balm. Bishop, a man who has always lived in the shadows, finally allows himself a glimpse of a different life, a future where he might not always be the mechanic. Gina, forever changed by her ordeal, but stronger for it, sees in Bishop a man capable of both immense destruction and profound protection. She knows he saved her, and more importantly, saved the children she dedicated her life to. The emotional scars remain, but there is a shared understanding, a quiet promise of a future, perhaps less violent, more connected. The world might still be a dangerous place, but together, they might just navigate its complexities, leaving behind the dark life for a brighter horizon. It's a moment of subtle triumph, a hard-won peace for two souls who have seen the worst of humanity and somehow, against all odds, managed to find a semblance of hope. Mechanic, Resurrection, at its core, is a relentless exploration of skill, precision, and the lengths one man will go to protect those he cares for. It's a testament to the idea that even in the darkest corners of the world, where violence dictates the rules, there can still be a flicker of honor and a desire for justice. Bishop's journey reminds us that true strength isn't just about the power to destroy, but the unwavering commitment to a cause greater than oneself. Even when it demands the ultimate sacrifice of peace, it's about finding purpose beyond the chaos and building a future, one impossible mission at a time. This film truly delivers on its promise of non-stop action and elaborate set pieces. Statham brings his signature stoicism and brutal efficiency, making every punch and every planned accident incredibly satisfying to watch. It's a perfect example of a movie that knows exactly what it is and leans into it with full force. A high-octane ride for anyone who loves their action sequences meticulously choreographed and their heroes impossibly cool.